Hi everybody, this is the video that will hopefully take you through some of the things that are in section 413 of our pre-calc curriculum. Basically, we're talking about the fundamental theorem of algebra today. The fundamental theorem of algebra essentially says that if the polynomial has a degree of n, then it has n roots. Now, the catch on that is that some of them might be imaginary. Okay, that's the part that we don't really like, we're not all that comfortable with, but tells me that if I have a cubic function, I should expect 3 roots, 3 solutions when I set the equation equal to 0. If I have a fourth power equation, I should expect 4 roots. It's just that some of them might be imaginary. So, picture a parabola that's shifted above the x-axis. It's got roots, they just happen to be imaginary because your parabola doesn't cross the x-axis anywhere. So we've seen it happen, we're just kind of formalizing it now. So the next question is then, how do we find those roots? And that's where the rational root theorem comes into play. The rational root theorem tells us that the roots of a polynomial are always in the form of plus or minus p over q, where p is the constant term from the polynomial and q is the lead coefficient. You'll see what that means in a second in the example that I have down below. But they're always going to be in that format. It's the same kind of thinking and strategy that you use when you're trying to factor something, and it works for bigger polynomials also, ones that are beyond quadratic. So to find the roots of a polynomial or its complete factorization, we're going to make a list of the possible roots using the rational root theorem. Then we could either plug the potential root into the function, see if we get 0, that would tell us we had a root. We could also look at the graph if that's a possibility. If you're allowed to use your calculator, that could help you figure it out. Or we could try to synthetically divide by the value and see if we get 0 as a remainder. If we do, that means we found something that divided in perfectly, which is the definition of what a factor is. So we found ourselves a root. So let's go through the example from problem number 37. Let's find the factored form and the roots for p of x equals x cubed plus 2x squared plus 2x minus 5. So according to rational root theorem, we're going to find our values of p and q. P is the 5 that sits out here at the end. Q is the 1 that's in front of the x squared. So the factors of p are just 1 and 5. The factors of q, just 1. So the only possible candidates we have are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 5, which is the same thinking that you would have if you were trying to factor this if this was a quadratic. You wouldn't try to make an x minus 6 or an x minus 7 quantity because that just doesn't work with the numbers that we have in the equation. So why waste your time trying it? It's just not going to work. So the easiest thing potentially to start with would be x equals 1. Let's see if that's a root. One thing I could do here is I could plug in and get 1 plus 2 minus 5. That does equal 0, so this should work. So now I'm going to try the synthetic division to figure out how things are going to break down further. So to start the synthetic division, we're going to end up looking like this. Okay, we write out the 1 here that we're going to divide by. These are the coefficients from the original equation. Remember the way synthetic division works, this 1 comes straight down, and we multiply 1 times 1, and we write the answer here. We add the 2 and the 1 to get 3, and we repeat the process. 1 times 3 is 3, add and get 5. 1 times 5 is 5, add and get 0. That's the thing that we really want. That's a remainder of 0 that tells us that we found a factor. Now we have to interpret what's left. Okay, this is 0 for my remainder. That means this 5 is my constant. The 3 must be my linear term, and the 1 must be my quadratic term. Okay, so really what I'm looking at is 1x squared plus 3x plus 5 after I've divided by synthetically by 1. So it takes me over here. Okay, I can break down p of x into x minus 1 since we synthetically divided by 1. X minus 1 would be the factor, and then x squared plus 3x plus 5. Now what I should do is try to factor x squared plus 3x plus 5. Quick look into that tells you that's not going to be successful. We're not going to be able to make any progress with that. So what we have is the factored form of p of x. But I do need to go further if I'm going to find the roots. And if I can't factor this quadratic any further, it means I'm going to do the quadratic formula. So that's what's hidden last here under the box. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all over 2a. We simplify, combine some like terms, and we find out the reason why we couldn't find those other solutions, they were imaginary. So this is a cubic function, has 3 roots. One of them is real, and 2 of them are imaginary. -3 plus or minus I root 11 all over 2. Okay. So that's kind of how this works. We're going to try to work our way through problems 38 to 43 using this as a guide. I'm also going to post a PDF that has my work for some of the other problems as we go. Hopefully it works out well for you, and I'll touch base with you soon.